Yahoo and welcome back to my channel, everyone. My name is Mara and today I have a very exciting video for you guys because I am back with another movie review. Today I'm going to talk about the Netflix movie The Harder They Fall. I am very excited. I hope you are too. If that sounds interesting to you, keep watching. Like I said, guys, today I am going to talk about the new Netflix movie, The Harder They Fall. It came out November the 3rd, so just a couple of days ago, and I was very excited about it. It is a Western crime movie produced by Jeymes Samuel and Zazie, and I was very excited to watch this movie because let's be real here. This movie has an insane cast. Of mostly black actors, which is of course justified because it's a black Western. I definitely love the cast. I'm definitely excited about this movie and about this review, talking to you about it. Jeymes Samuel, the director of this movie, definitely is known to have a love for Western movies. And since most of the Westerns showcase white cowboys, it was kind of his mission to highlight the black cowboys and cowgirls and the real-life legends from the Wild West, and that they usually don't get the attention that they deserve. I mean, look at the white counterparts, for example, like Billy the Kid. Everybody knows him, but what about Trudy Smith or Bill Pickett, you know? Most of the people don't know them, so that was kind of his motivation to create this movie, to make these people more known, and I definitely feel he accomplished that. The story of these real-life legends basically is not 100% accurate, because since he wanted to put everybody or most of them in the same movie, he definitely had to change some things up, which I think is forgivable. The movie is still great. If you do want to read up on those real-life Western legends, then please do so. I feel it is definitely worth reading up on those historical figures and those real-life cowboys and cowgirls. They definitely deserve to have their stories known, so the movie definitely made me want to read up on them, and they have quite interesting stories, but I will definitely not spoil anything here. You will have to do the reading by yourself and the research. Please do so. Like I said, I do feel they deserve to be heard. In general, this whole movie has a great look. I was very intrigued by the neutral colors mixed with rich, bold colors. We do have blues and reds and yellows that are really popping and that are really rich when we get into the towns, basically. And I felt that was, very appealing. There was even a completely white town, which was called White Town. And then they said at the bottom, because there are only white people living there, which was kind of funny. I felt like, not the fact that there was a, particularly just white town with white people in there, but the fact that they basically wrote on the screen, it's called White Town, because there are only white people in this town. That was kind of funny to me. I don't know. The editing of this movie is also quite unique because every time that we enter a new town, we have the town's name boldly written all over the screen in different colors. When we get to the white town, it's totally white, and then we have the Redwood, I think it's called, where the font is totally red and stuff like that. So I don't know, it was quite unique. It was also quite kind of pop culturally to me, if that's the correct way of saying it. I'm maybe even making up words, I don't know. Anyways, I felt it was quite unique. It was very fitting for the whole movie. It's a nice look, like I said. And the camera work is great as well. We do have sets that are mostly in New Mexico, so we have beautiful landscapes and beautiful deserts, and just the scenery is so pretty. I was very, very intrigued by that. And in general, due to the runtime of almost 2.5 hours, we do have enough time to get into the story, to get to know the characters, and the movie really takes its time to introduce us to the characters, and just the way that Jeymes Samuel wanted to highlight all of these characters, and even if the stories are not 100% accurate, nonetheless I felt invested in the characters. So I think the movie has its length, because it is definitely 2.5 hours long, almost, but it doesn't get boring. I felt so entertained by the whole movie, so please definitely give it a try, watch it. When I said that the camera work was very nice, that might have something to do with the cameraman, because the cameraman for The Harder They Fall was Sean Bobbitt, and you might know him from 12 Years a Slave or Judas and the Black Messiah. Amazing movies as well, great camera work. So like I said in the beginning, when Jeymes Samuel said, I'm going to make this movie, he was like, I'm going to get the best cameraman, I'm going to get the best actors, and I'm just going to make a great movie. So, and that's what happened. Like I said, we have beautiful sets in this movie. We have the New Mexico desert and stuff like that. We do have slow motion sequences. The fight sequences are good. We have shootings and stuff like that. We have zoom ins that feel very, very unique, because they are just in the right moment, and they zoom in situations that I didn't expect them to zoom in. So very, very nice. And in general, there's so much detail and there's so much love to detail in this movie, which I definitely felt and appreciated. I definitely fell in love with this movie. I think it is one of my favorite Westerns, even though I'm not that much into Westerns, which says a lot. Normally I'm quite bored by the whole shooting in the desert situation, but this movie definitely entertained me. I felt the love that Samuels has for Westerns, and the whole look reminded me of Tarantino's love for making movies, because it was so unique. It was a different turn on the whole Western situation. And besides Sukiyaki Western Django, which is also a Western, it's a Japanese Western, and if you think that's weird, it is, but it's so good. I definitely enjoyed Sukiyaki Western Django. It's one of my top Japanese movies. The Harder They Fall is also a very music-driven movie. It is accompanied by a soundtrack produced by Jeymes Samuel as well as Jay-Z. And it was released by Jay-Z's label, Rock Nation Records. And you can definitely hear that, because those two also cooked up the soundtrack for The Great Gatsby movie, which was also amazing. I definitely loved The Great Gatsby movie soundtrack. It was so fun and funky, and it was just filled with hip-hop and R&B, and it was just so good. So yeah, in general, this soundtrack just has so many great artists on it, so many bops, so many amazing songs. One of my favorite songs of this soundtrack is definitely the main title, I guess, because it's called The Harder They Fall. It's by Kofi. I hope I am pronouncing the name correctly. You should definitely check it out on Tidal. I do use Tidal. Don't make fun of me. Tidal is amazing. I definitely love my Tidal account. So if you don't have that, okay, Check it out on Spotify. Anyways, go stream the whole soundtrack. It's amazing. And besides Kofi and Jeymes Samuel and Zazie, we do have Jadakiss on the album. We definitely have Kid Cudi, I guess is the way you pronounce his name, and Miss Lauryn Hill, the one and only Lauryn Hill. Like I said so many times already, the soundtrack is amazing. Please check it out. It's so good. I am listening to it, you know, back and forth. It's just, I don't know, it's just so good. I'm sorry. It makes me very excited. If you couldn't tell, I definitely recommend you to watch The Harder They Fall. It's an amazing movie. It's definitely worth your 2.5 hours around-ish. Amazing actors, very interesting stories with historical real-life background to it, an amazing soundtrack, and it's just so good. It's so good that I actually want to watch it on the big screen in cinema. It is not available here, which is a bummer. I'm quite sad about that. I've read on the internet that they had screenings in a few cinemas, I think in the US, maybe in London, where they also had the premiere, but they don't have screenings here in Berlin. If you do own a cinema here in Berlin, please hit me up. I definitely want to watch this on the big screen. I will be forever thankful. Netflix, if you are watching this review, please, you know, put it into the cinema, because it's an amazing movie and I definitely need to see this on the big screen and not just my tiny, I don't know how big my TV is. I think it's not even 60 inches. So it's small, kind of small. And yeah, anyways, like I said, I definitely recommend The Harder They Fall. Please watch it. And for today, that's it. I hope you have a wonderful week, a wonderful weekend, and I will see you in my next video. Until then, stay real, keep it real, and bye-bye.